really want to start first by thanking our panelists who've taken out time to come here and join us. So nothing starts with diabetes without proper medical advice and the support of your medical team, because they have already seen you from the day of your diagnosis, hand holding you to probably testing your blood sugar and getting a proper schedule in your life. They have been there through thick and thin and also helped you to get up when you were having DKA. So I would like to welcome our amazing round of panelists. Without further ado, first let me welcome and introduce them. And we have in order Dr. Banshi Sabu. He needs no truly a name to reckon with when it comes to diabetes care in India. He's the chief diabetologist and chairman of Diabetes Care and Hormone Clinic in Ahmedabad and the president of RSSDI. He's the most common face one can see at all national and international conferences, improving lives of people living with diabetes. So that's Dr. Banshi Sabu. Our next panelist is Dr. Archana Sharda. She's a renowned diabetologist, founder of UDAN, non-profit organization which is working diligently in the area of diabetes care in Aurangabad, who work from village to village, door to door to provide access, psychological support to many underprivileged children living with type 1 diabetes. Our third panelist is Dr. Anil Gombar, who is a famous diabetologist practicing over 40 years and treating a lot of young and adults with type 1 diabetes. He's also my strongest pillar as I struggle managing my own diabetes all through these 13 years living with type 1 diabetes. He's also supported us strengthening the diabetes community in Delhi through various initiatives at World Diabetes Day. Our fourth panelist is Cheryl Salas, who's founder and director of Nurture Health Solutions, senior registered clinical dietitian, and public speaker, lecturer, author of an amazing book which I got a chance to read, which was Diet in Diabetes Simplified, a rich experience in the field of type 1 diabetes, nutrition, and metabolic disorders. So I would like to begin by first asking questions to our panelists and setting the floor to this importance of exercise and nutrition in diabetes management. First, let me get all the panelists on one screen. So here they are. Do you all want to say hi to our crowd?
Hello.
Nice to have you. Hi.
So nice to see you.
Nice to have everybody out there.
Hi, Apurva. Thank you.
Hi. So my first question would be to Dr. Sharda. First of all, I really want you, because you always tell us everything in a very crisp and precise manner. So first question would be, why exercise? Why are we doing this? And what role does it have in the management of diabetes? Over to you, Dr. Sharda.
Good evening, everyone. And hello, Apurva, and especially Sahil. Congratulations on this venture, and can't express how much needed it was. And now to answer the question, exercise, why exercise? I think exercise is an absolute essential part of our diabetes management today. It's a part of our life, everyone with or without diabetes. But to be very specific, no longer is diabetes management about a prescription of medicine. So as a doctor, all of us first look at the nutrition, the time management, the exercise management as a part of treatment, and then monitoring, and then we look at a drug, what is going to be suitable. So exercise is not only going to give us a better glycemic control, but also a well-being, a protection from all the cardiac events, all complications. We know that sleep hygiene improves, mental health improves. And we are not talking, I just wanted to mention here that often it is confused between physical activity and exercise. So it's okay to have physical activity, one must have, which is all movements. But we are talking about exercise, which is structured and which is very well planned. So improving the glucose sensitivity, decreasing the resistance, having a very good immune system. So way beyond, I mean, I can go on and on. So we are talking about exercise in type 1, type 2, in gestational, in pre-diabetes, and also to prevent diabetes. So there's a place as a major prescription in all aspects of diabetes at all ages and at all stages. So absolutely exercise.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just going ahead from that. Would you so while you're treating patients with diabetes and other non-diabetics as well, how do you basically incorporate diabetes into the diabetes regimen? Just a piece of advice on that. Yeah.
Yes. So when we treat people with diabetes and we ask them to have a structured exercise plan, we need people like Sahil who were definitely lacking so far. So entire emphasis was on adjusting the diet, monitoring, time management to the exercise plan that they follow. But I would take the blame on myself that we do not know enough about exercise, right? We try to find out, and our trainers do not know enough about exercise, and hence this is absolutely wonderful what Sahil is doing, fusing the two aspects. So as a doctor, my emphasis would always be on the nutrition, on the monitoring, and adjusting your medical management to suit your exercise. But now I'm sure Sahil can offer us exercise to suit your medical management. And that is something we are looking forward to.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sharda. And as every time we listen to Dr. Banshi in all his conferences, he always talks about this emphasis of a multidisciplinary team when it comes to diabetes management. It is not just overwhelming the medical team which has to work, but also like kind of fusing other things, because living with diabetes is a 24/7 job. So over to you, Dr. Banshi. This question is for you, saying that you have seen many patients struggling to get an exercise routine while they manage an insulin treatment, be it on insulin injections, syringes, or insulin pump. You've seen it all. What are some of your suggestions you have for people who are living with diabetes to create to incorporate exercise as an integral part of one's life? So over to you,
First
Dr.
of all, thanks Apurva for very bringing out this question to me, and congratulations Sahil for a wonderful website which I could see it. I was a bit late to join the meeting because of some technical issues. Now, the exercise which you are talking of, Apurva, there are three forms of that. Already Archana had talked about the physical activity and regular exercise. And that what Sahil is talking about, that, someone who is doing more than an exercise, because this is in a young adolescent, a type 1 diabetes, a person with type 1 diabetes, there are young adolescents. So they want to do, even like some of them want to become they want to go to gym, they want to do a heavy exercise, they want to do marathon, or, they want to do heavy exercise. So actually a type 1 diabetes management and a physical activity, exercise and a heavy exercise, all three are different, and then managing insulin accordingly, how they need, So it depends on what type of exercise they are doing. Now, what we are recommending and what is their need, they are two different things. The requirement for a regular person, they should be more physically active. They should do some regular exercise, as Archana had talked about. But then if somebody is doing a exercise or heavy exercise, like building a muscles or doing a lot of exercise, in particularly young adults, then the insulin dosing, particularly those patients who are on pump, then it is much easier because you can reduce their basal dose requirement at that particular time. They can take extra snacks they can take this extra snack before the doing exercise, and they can take an extra shot of insulin. They can check their sugar also if they are on continuous glucose monitor. But the problem occurs to those patients who are on basal bolus insulin, and particularly in India, many of our patients who are on premix insulin, and then they try to do the exercise. Then the things are completely different. But what the regular recommendation is, most of all the patients should be on basal bolus. They should do a glucose monitoring before starting the exercise. If the sugar is in relatively normal condition, and what type of exercise which they are going to do, accordingly they can have a half a apple or something like that, and then they can start doing exercise. But if their sugar is already high, then they are not recommended for exercise, because then it can lead to further increase in the glucose level, and they can get even precipitation of diabetic ketoacidosis can also occur. So a good control of a diabetes with really regular monitoring and then doing a regular exercise is very important in a person with diabetes, particularly a type 1 diabetes. It is much easier those who are on pump or those who are on a continuous glucose monitoring, where the exercise and insulin dosing can be adjusted much easier way, while those patients on a basal bolus therapy, particularly like NPH and regular, it is the monitoring of the sugar along with what type of exercises they are going to do. Pre-exercise and post-exercise monitoring also very often we ask our patient to get it done, because that gives you the idea that how much exercise is going to the change their glucose value before exercise and after exercise also. So these type of things which we explain our patient, but it is very important that all our patient must do a regular exercise and physical activity. If their exercise is scheduled very regularly, like every that person is doing at 5 p.m. every day, a half an hour walking or in a half an hour jogging, or early morning he is doing an exercise, then accordingly the dose of insulin and dose of his food can be adjusted accordingly. But if he is doing randomly any time of the day, then again he has to be monitored very, very intensively. That exercise should not lead to hypoglycemia, or not it should precipitate severe hyperglycemia also.
Thank you so much, Dr. Banshi. It's always a delight to listen to you because you explain everything so beautifully. And just to adding a little to that, you've seen patients every day struggling to get a exercise, and they feel that it's a job, like it's like a medicine again, and we have to do it just because for our diabetes. But I just want to remove that stigma which people have, that exercise is only for people to improve their health, like improve their diabetes. But I really want you to emphasize on one point, that why exercise is for everyone. It is not just because you have diabetes, that's why you're doing it. So just something on that.
It's for everyone. You know that, Apurva, as you are also a doctor, and we know that we recommend even for everyone. I mean, exercise is must, as the increasing the physical activity and doing it on a regular basis. It is not only for a good glucose control, but it improves the insulin resistance. So even somebody is not a diabetes, also it improves overall, it prevents the cardiovascular disease. And that's the reason a regular physical activity and doing an exercise is very, very important for every one of us. Whether somebody is having diabetes, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, obese person, lean person, for everyone it is recommended. And I think this message should go very clearly to everyone who is listening, whether somebody is type 1 or type 2, it does not make any difference, but they should do regular exercise.
Thank you so much, Dr. Banshi. Before I take this ahead, because I can Anil. So like Dr. Banshi just mentioned about why exercise comes as one of the important, most cheapest drugs probably when we come to prescribing it. So how do you feel that how physical activity impacts one's blood glucose management? How there are different types of exercise, which Dr. Banshi did mention about the aerobic and the anaerobic aspect. But I just want you to describe about how one should be concerned about managing their glucose levels before and after exercise. You, Dr. Anil.
Thank you, Apurva, Dr. Apurva, and thank you, Sahil, for inviting me as one of your colleague, rather, I can say that. And it is very enhancing to know that your fused name is a very catchy name. Our exercise has to be fused with our bodies, right?
Right.
So, Sahil, this is one of the very good important part of our whole body. The total metabolism of the body depends on your exercise. Also, it is like a medicine, right? Whether it is type 1, it is type 2, or otherwise, as Dr. Banshi has already enumerated about it, it really improves, exercise really improves the insulin sensitivity, its glucose utilization, its intake output of our body maintains by that. It decreases circulating insulin levels. So I will not go into the physiology of that, and you can always achieve a good control of blood glucose levels with the help of exercise. That common exercise to a very heavy exercise up to the gym improves your cardiovascular health even. It improves your osteoporosis. It improves your diabetic management, improves your weight loss. It reduces stress. It improves physical fitness and straining exercise. Inexpensive also. One of the best de-stress mode of treatment in a diabetic is doing exercise. Even you can write yoga, meditation for de-stressing. So mental health is also at stake in type 1 or type 2 or any patient rather. But is a fused, structured program of an exercise with the diabetic person is very important. It maintains body weight. It maintains simple walk, even 30 to 45 minutes, increases the insulin sensitivity. So I feel that exercise should be a part of everybody, more so with diabetic and hypertension or any other chronic disease also. And in type 1, as your forum is consists of a lot of people of type 1, rather all of you people are living with this problem. And I think before exercise, you must see your sugar levels. After exercise, must see your sugar levels. And in between, you will come to know your body composition. You will come to know the requirement of insulin. You should never do the exercise if your sugar is more than 250. So before you go for the exercise, before you go for a marathon, you must see your sugar levels before you start these exercises. Then after exercises, utilization of insulin has been done. How much insulin you need to give it. You might need to come to a lower level also. Now the insulin sensitivity is increasing by exercise. So your requirement of insulin level, as Sahil has very rightly said, that my requirement is 35. This is what is required with this exercise. He would have not done the exercise. Requirement would have been almost about 5 or 60 or something like that. So his body composition is towards 35 with the good amount of exercise. It definitely improves the insulin sensitivity, and your intake is very important.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gumbar.
And then I would like to highlight that, and very rightly said, holistic approach. Holistic approach starts in a diabetic patient, starts with lifestyle modifications. Lifestyle modifications includes an exercise. An exercise of just a simple walk of 30 to 45 minutes would also suffice you. Any exercise like walking, cycling, swimming, team sports, even resistant exercises. The people like you, young people, can go for resistant band exercises, team sports. So definitely it gives you a good moral support also with your partner. So it's a great thing to work with them. So holistic approach starts with lifestyle modification. So without lifestyle modification, no treatment is complete. Without exercise, no treatment is complete. It is a filler. It is a fluctuations, as very rightly said by somebody, that the fluctuations of hypo and hyperglycemia can be made by exercise.
Yeah.
You need to be a little more vigilant about the testing of your sugar.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Gumbar. You beautifully described that it is incomplete to manage diabetes without the most important ingredient, which is exercise. Now, shifting the lens from exercise, I want to shift that no exercise, no diabetes management is complete without proper nutrition. And no other than the expert in the nutrition and diabetes, we have we have Cheryl here, who will be talking about how food restrictions are this common stigma which is attached, that if you're diabetic, you will be restricted to have no sugar, no carbohydrates, restricted diet, and that's where all the burnout and diabetes ifs and buts come. So my question to you is, with your experience, what basically defines nutrition in diabetes care, and how can one achieve that balance when you're talking about diabetes management?
Thank you
Over
so
to you, Cheryl.
much, and it's lovely to see you and everybody else here. And heartiest congratulations, Sahil. I think we've discussed a lot on this, and this was definitely the need of the hour. And I know how passionate you are about this, and it's wonderful to see it coming to life. And I can't way to see that our patients get the benefit. Because as Dr. Archana said, though we know about nutrition, but exercise is one area which is still a gray area for us. And we have people, whose sugars fluctuate. They do not know which is the right kind of exercise that they should do. What is the kind of, how do they manage their blood glucose levels from dropping or maybe increasing after a particular exercise. So definitely a need of the hour, and we're really excited about it. So to answer Dr. Apurva's question, I think, everybody is scared about diet because they think that, when it comes to a diet, there are a lot of restrictions. And we in the past have done, we've been guilty of it, that anybody came to us, there was a big list of no's and a very small list of what to eat. And often we saw that compliance was really poor. And today it's not a diabetic diet, it's a healthy meal plan for everybody, not only somebody with diabetes, but also somebody who's a family member, because everybody's at a risk. And the kind of lifestyle that we're all leading, we're at a risk of NCDs, and therefore it's a healthy meal plan for people with diabetes. The only difference which is there, we're talking to a crowd which is mostly people with type 1 diabetes. The difference is that there is no insulin in the person with type 1 diabetes. And if he takes his insulin well, he can eat a balanced diet and, at times even indulge in a few treats, provided he knows how to manage it well. So one is making wise, informed choices. There's a lot of myths and misconceptions about diet. Everybody likes that flat line on the CGMS or the AGP. And therefore, they think carbohydrates are a villain, and they often, completely, give up on carbohydrates and then give certain macronutrients more importance. But I think it should be a diet which can be sustainable, because one is, we do not want, it's not a patient. A person with diabetes is not a patient. He's a normal human being who can live a life which is absolutely normal. In fact, we have a lot of, family members who come to us after the diagnosis. Initially, yes, they feel, why my child, etc. But after some time, they say that, even we've become healthy. We've lost weight. If we are having pre-diabetes, our sugars have improved because the entire family starts eating right. So I think it's it's a healthy meal plan. All these myths and misconceptions, and they're so made popular by a lot of influencers, your social media influencers. And that's the reason I wrote the book, because answering those WhatsApp forwards every morning, or having people come to the clinic and asking us, should I do this? I read this on WhatsApp, or, I got this forward. And that's the reason I thought, why not come out with a book which is going to give you evidence-backed, scientific information on what is the right thing to do. And it's about making wise, informed choices. And eating everything in balance, which is sustainable and which is something that you can do in the long run. Yes, for a person with diabetes on insulin, they need to know that they have to take their insulin and manage their blood glucose, and you can eat everything and manage it well. And with exercise as well, I think exercise works like insulin. So, with diet, exercise, if the person really does physical activity, and it's not like, what Dr. Archana was saying, one is exercise and one is just going for a walk, it's very different. So, making sure that you take out that time to be active. We've seen that the dosage of insulin really comes down, and which is Sahil has talked about. And I think it's so important because it really helps everybody. Not only, it helps us manage their diet better. It also helps the person with diabetes manage their blood glucose levels and get their glucose levels in range.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Cheryl. That really helps answering the question that balance is the key and moderation. And it's not just about restriction, but also like creating the balance with your team, like with your nutritionist, with your doctor, and finding the right choices by trial and error. So thank you so much. Now I would like to open the panel for any last minute comments to our community, because we have like people from across the globe, a diverse population of people from across India, where there are different dietary options, dietary choices, availability of insulin, access. So just last minute, tips from you, if you want to answer. You can just unmute yourself and speak. Yeah. Dr. Sharda.
Yes. So my thought here is, wherever you are, whatever you have, just plan. A little bit of planning goes a long way. So I usually, something that you can stick to, something that you like. It is so difficult to stick to something you don't enjoy. If it's forced, if it is sad, it's not going to stay very long. So just a little bit of planning goes a long way. So I often use the word freedom and discipline together. So being disciplined gives you so much of freedom. So we all like our freedom, especially young people love to be free. And that freedom comes with a little bit of discipline. So if we plan our things well, I would lay a lot of emphasis, my week's menu. If every Sunday I could sit, this week's routine, this week's menu, this week's review my past week, plan my next week. Just 10 minutes of your time once a week. And that discipline gives you an amazing freedom to be yourself, which you want. That would be my tip to anyone, everywhere.
Wow. Thank you. That's such a beautiful finish line, I would say, for the panel, that discipline is the key. It's more of creating peace with your diabetes or your own body, trying to make the best out of it. So a last tip from you, Cheryl, and then Dr. Anil. Yeah.
I think we should remove the fear. The whole endeavor is to remove the fear of eating, because we fear food. We should enjoy, and we should be able to live a life which we can enjoy. And like Dr. Sarda said, yes, I always ask, first thing I ask, these children is, and I insist that these children come to us for their consultations is, what are your favorite foods? And the moment you tell them that you can eat, you should see the joy on their face. And I'm telling you, that's the most gratifying moment for us, because we want to see that smile on their face. So yes, moderation is key, and we have to remove the whole fear of food and bring back the joy of living and living happily and winning over diabetes. I think that is what I would leave everyone with.
Yeah, thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Anil. Last tip.
Yeah, messing our own metabolism has to be de-messed now. De-stress yourself first, live responsible. You have to live responsible for yourself, as well as for your society, as well as for the nation. And you have to be disciplined. As very rightly said, Archana, a disciplined life. And I'll tell you, if a person living with a diabetes can discipline their family very well. So it goes beyond controlling yourself. Your own metabolism will be controlled, obviously, but you can control your metabolism of your whole family. So eat and drink responsibly. Moderation, okay. Everything only in a balanced way of life.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Anil.
I would
I
would like to give one suggestion to Sahil. I would like to give you one suggestion to Sahil. You should start you can say, people who are living at the older age also have a section of some exercises, because exercises, when you say to any old man above 60, 70, 80, then they say ki ab exercise kya karni hai? We cannot do any exercises. Now you have to manage that section with yoga, meditation, and some simple resistance exercises even, right?
Right.
So I think that would be a long way to go with type 2 also.
Right. I think it's whether, I don't believe in that age, if you are above 50 or above 60, yoga or even weight training actually helps in keeping your body healthy, in moving better. So I personally recommend people who are, 50 plus or 60 plus or 70 plus, they should do, also walking and the light exercises, but also some amount of resistance and weight training as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. For before I close the panel, I really want to thank Dr. Sharda, Dr. Gomber, and Cheryl. And we kind of lost Dr. Sabu to the network, but thank you so much for taking out time out of your busy schedule and being a part of us, because this whole initiative is incomplete without your blessings, without your support and your expert advices. So thank you so much for being here. And I would just want to close off this panel. If you have any questions, we would like you to drop in the question box or email us at the Fuse website, and we could just fuse it to our respective panelists anytime, just to complete this whole diabetes management regimen. So now I would like to hand over to Sahil to take over for the next session.
Yeah. Before moving forward, let me thank the panelists, Dr. Bansi, Dr. Anil, Dr. Archana and Cheryl ma'am. These are actually the doctors and the people who have actually supported me to and encouraged me to start this. So thank you so much for taking out time and being a part of the Fuse family.